So some are talking about walking out in the middle of his speech. Others are talking about boycotting it altogether and essentially finding something else to do. I'm here to tell you that neither is acceptable. Neither should be acceptable. At some point in time, ladies and gentlemen, there's got to be an adult in the room. If you're going to act as juvenile, as petulant, as petty, as you accuse the president of the United States to be, how are you ever going to hold a high moral ground, at least high enough to judge him accordingly? If people on the right can turn and look at you and say, you're no better, you act no better, where's it going to get you? See, these are the kind of things that end up getting people like myself and others in the news, because we're talking about getting things done. I've said repeatedly, and I'll state it again, and I'll make news by saying it again. I have no desire to be an elected official. I've never had no desire to entertain politics in my life. I'm certainly not an aficionado on the issues. Got a long way to go to learn all the things that go on. But you know what I have? I have common sense. I have decency. I have respect for the office, even when or if I didn't respect the individual. Because I would understand it as a representative, whether it be that as a representative or a senator in the United States of America. Guess what? I have a constituency to answer to. And I have people who need me, who I represent. And whether I like it or not, this individual is in office until 2028. And I got to find a way to do business with him in order to get something done.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the following program where we do the State of the Union, good logic style. That means we start like 7 minutes after our scheduled time. That's part of what that means. I thought that was baked into the recipe here, that everyone understood that if I say 8:45, it means I'm planning on getting here before 9 o'clock. That's what it really means. Like a few minutes before 9 to settle in. That's obviously what that meant. So this is watching the State of the Union good logic style. There's a lot to address with tonight's State of the Union. And I thought opening up with Stephen A. Smith blasting the Democrats for their whole boycott or their planned walkout, their whole spectacle of me, which is what Democrats are all about. They're all about. I would expect that we probably should see at some point some Democrats stand up and walk out just so that they could be in the news of like, oh, look at this. Senator Hirono got up and walked out in the middle of the State of the Union speech. That's what we're seeing. That's what we should expect to see. Anyhow, I'm going to pull up here. I have like an extra hour of show to do, and I plan on doing that with a call-in if we hit tonight's goal. Tonight's goal is 15 super chats of $10 or more. It could be Roman Reigns, it could be $50. It could be J.H. Schwalbeck sending me money in like, you know, Diggerland that I'll see a day later because I suck. But could be any of the above. Any of the above. Anyhow, if we hit that goal, I will have a call-in section here of this show, and I'll count that goal even if it ends up being like, because the speech ends up coming in late, I'll count it then too. I guess we'll do that. Although might not be able to do an hour call in if it's like, you know, we're 3 hours in already. That I don't know if I'll do. We'll have to see. I have to play it by ear. Anyhow, it's time for us to like queue up, make sure that we're good to go to actually watch the State of the Union coming at us live. This should be exciting stuff. It should be good times. Should be good times indeed. Let's pull up here. Let's just pull up. State of the Union.
There's the second lady.
Ooh.
Usha Vance.
The second lady, Usha Vance.
Her and the vice president.
You want to see that, don't you?
Announcing that they will be expanding their family.
I don't like having this here. I don't need that. That's better. Usha Vance.
You got to imagine trade and tariffs are going to come up during this.
Brett Kavanaugh.
After the Supreme Court. Again, you're looking at a number of justices there.
Ivanka, together with her brother Barron.
The president's family. Ivanka and Barron in
Thank you.
attendance. We saw that President Trump and Melania.
Yeah.
It was reported that they arrived to Capitol Hill moments ago. We have not seen them enter the chamber yet.
Melania.
As we speak, First Lady has arrived.
Hello, whiskey capitalist. I'd be happy to come on.
Speech tonight, we're going to be listening for how the president frames issues like the economy, his foreign policy, funding of DHS. President Trump in recent weeks has been hitting the campaign trail, you could say. Traveling to 2 battleground states.
I think this is probably a fair comment.
The all-important midterms coming up in November. Very
Mr.
well.
Speaker, the President's cabinet.
They just announced the President's cabinet.
Secretary of State, Marco
Secretary
Rubio.
of State, Marco Rubio.
Scott Bessent, Pete Hegseth, Pistol Pete Hegseth. Oh, Pam Blondie. RFK.
Jr. AG Pam Bondi, Scott Bessent. Howard Lutnick in the back there. Doug Burgum.
Doug Burgum. Former governor of South Dakota? North Dakota? A Dakota. Definitely a Dakota.
I normally have time to check in with our guests before we bring them on air, but I believe Christian Daytalk is
no one knows who that is.
Christian, I just want to make sure that you can hear me. Are we connected?
Hey, Austin, how's it going? Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Hey, it's all right, man. We wanted to bring in one quick thing here. Daytalk is a White House reporter for the Washington Examiner. Christian, as we watch President Trump's cabinet file in, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles entering again, Bessent.
This guy doesn't know it. Oh, okay, he knows. He knows who Bessent is.
We are heading into a high-stakes midterm election.
Now, if I get super chats in the middle of the speech, I'll pull them up, and if they're $10,
but they're also trying
to point this out. If they're $10 or more, I'll read them off like afterwards. If they're funny, I'll read them off. If they're funny or $10 or more, you have to be one or the other. I'll pull them up after. I'll definitely pull up every super chat during the course of the show, and hold it up as soon as they come in. It's easier for me to pull them up faster during the course of a speech. Oh, why? I didn't mean to stop it.
Persuadable voters.
Let's go live.
But also his ongoing immigration policies.
So I will be pulling them up. I will be pulling them up during the course of his speech. That's definitely going to happen. If they're funny, in that case, yeah. But I don't want to disrupt his speech. Obviously, I don't want to pause his speech. I don't plan on doing that. I do not plan on pausing his speech in the middle. I don't like doing that. With Biden, I would do that because he would say so many ridiculous, insane things. So I would just sort of pause it for like 30 seconds and basically point out the flat out lies that he was saying. With Trump, if I see something that's really bothersome, I might pause it. So I'm not committing that I won't pause it, but we're never going to fall more than like 3 or 5 minutes behind. That's Howard Lutnick there. Chief Justice Roberts. Is that Sotomayor? So I just wanted to give you all. It's not a humor tariff. It's a humor benefit that, hey, even if it's under $10, I'll bump you up because you were funny. Now it doesn't mean every attempt at humor. It means everything that makes me laugh. So I can't promise that. Yeah. Hey, selfie with RFK Jr. There you go. Token black guy behind him.
Bill last summer. That's going to be a steep hill to climb ahead of the November midterms. And John Thune told us, the Senate Majority Leader, that this one might be a hurdle that's too tough for them to pass, given how caustic this election will be.
I've spent the last hour or so looking at members of Congress enter this building.
Junior.
Democrats, Republicans alike. A number of Democrats are protesting this speech by not showing up. By the way, DHS Secretary
there's Tulsi.
has entered, along with Susie Wiles, DNI Tulsi Gabbard in the room as well. let's talk about Congress, Christian. How would you characterize the president's current relationship with congressional leadership? And
they suck.
And what
Congress
legislative
sucks.
priorities realistically have a path forward this year?
Senate especially sucks.
I would say that relationship is pretty one-sided. I mean, let's be honest. Donald Trump flexed executive power in a way that we've never really seen from a modern president. And even on some of those big ticket items, the one big, beautiful bill, it was Donald Trump ultimately working the phones, helping Mike Johnson corral voters, because this
because Leader Thune sucks.
Relationship. I mean, let's just look at these negotiations with Democrats regarding DHS funding that's been taking place over the past several days. It's very one-sided. The Democrats put forward their proposals. The White House say these are non-starters. The White House puts forward a proposal. Democrats say this isn't serious. So right now, there's not necessarily a lot of collaboration. As for what is actually realistically achievable in the remainder of this congressional year,
I think I got it from.
Look at the president's calls to codify his most favored nation's drug pricing proposals. Let's be honest, that's a page pulled right out of the progressive playbook. Joe Biden tried to get that done during his term in office, but he didn't necessarily carry the negotiating weight that President Trump does when it comes to engaging with these big pharmaceutical companies and our allies in attempts to lower prices at home. That is one issue where there might be bipartisan accord. But again, in an election year, I'm just not so sure anything that the president is going to put forward is going to get the necessary sign-off from Democrats and moderate Republicans to make it into a law eventually.
Washington Examiner White House reporter Christian Daytok joining me. I am Austin Westfall. We are waiting for the sergeant
He's not the leader. It's up to
the president will be entering the building any moment here. One thing that Christian and I are going to be watching during the course of this.
FYI, Democratic Congress members of Congress are planning to hold a People's State of the Union outside the United States Capitol in defiance of President Trump's State of the Union inside tonight. You guys want me to cover that afterwards? I don't think so. That'll take me like 4 hours.
Tensions heading into a nationally.
I was aware of that. It's like on the Midas Touch, it's on the channel the Midas Touch, which is just pure leftist propaganda. It's insane leftist propaganda.
Truth Social voice, Republicans in name only, but they're really trying to project unity, especially heading into November, because again, the way that Donald Trump is legislating doesn't necessarily predicate that typical two-way relationship we've seen exist between the executive and legislative branches. I think the way that the president is putting forward primary opponents against sitting Republican members of Congress in both chambers tells you all you need to know, that this president isn't necessarily centered on is focused on making sure Republicans can maintain their seats. He is focused on getting Republicans in who will vote in lockstep with his legislative agenda.
Let's listen in.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Over under his speech starting within 5 minutes. It's now 9:07. Over under. Biden took 12 minutes to get there one time. Dun, 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 dun. This is spot on, Ed. Spot on. Trying to keep him on time.
How much hot selfie?
I assume you mean cutter. That's what I want to know. I think he'll call them out, and they'll pan over to them. Maybe Coney Barrett looking like slime. Look at that, John Fetterman in a suit. I didn't recognize him. I think he's going to beat the 5 minutes. That makes sense. I expect him to say something like that. Don't just dip in. Don't just dip in. What's a dip in? I appreciate the like. But don't just dip in. Don't just dip in. What's a dip in?
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's
9-12.
Really an honor.
That's an under.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States. Second Lady of the United States.
You're shocked. I gotta tell you, JD Vance, he popped up there. He's looking slim. He's looking slim.
Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Standing ovation count. I'm going to say over under 38. So far we had 2. Oh, there's Al Green making a jackass out of himself. Hey-ho.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today our border is secure. Thank you. Today our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
That's great. Like demons.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
More. We're counting these standing ovations. The over-under number is 38.
In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
Five.
But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
I'll give that a 6.
The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
7 already. I feel like 38 was very low now. So.
And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
9.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
Oh, if they're standing up for this, I gotta adjust my number. 38 is way low. Way low.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling
That's
fast.
10.
And the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year.
I guess
And
we have
low
to count
interest
by
rates
Mike
will
Johnson
solve the
standing.
Biden-created housing problem well, at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year.
He's not sending the military to
Boosting
Iran.
pensions,
Not happening. Don't worry.
401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Wow, that's astounding. 11. They look like they're like wallowing like
Think of it,
Ipecac.
much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes.
Sure.
A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
12. They didn't void it.
As thousands
And those
of
aren't
new
the commitments he's
businesses are
talking
forming
about.
and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
13.
American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
That's 14. That would be awesome.
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
15.
We ended DEI in America.
16. Yeah, I'm going to have to change that number.
We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
17.
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
18. I'm going to change that number. I'm going to change that number.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
It's 19. Oh, here they come. The hockey women decide not to come because they're gay. Sometimes I mean that in a good way, and not this time. It's like he's so blessed, Donald Trump. First time in 40 years. In 46 years, we've won gold in hockey. Probably. Oh, they are standing. Look at that. Democrats are standing. Oh, they're finally learning.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
Well, they are coming to the White House. That's 20.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I'd never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
I'm counting as 21. I'm thinking I should have said 100. I'm going to change this to 100.
Think of it, 46
We're
shots
16
on goal,
minutes
and I
in.
asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be giving, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Wow. $22.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best. And I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
$23.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics. And it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
$24. All right, I obviously have to adjust my number.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
25.
And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup. So we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming. And that is exciting news.
$26.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
I raised the over-under to 87. And this is number 27.
So, Buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Billy Kate, but 164 others to safety.
27. He does this frequently. He likes calling out individuals and praising them. He likes doing that. I think it's a smart move.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
And he got up again, 28.
And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
29.
And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
30.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead.
Another one?
But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
31. Big fan of the no tax on tips over here. That's right. When you tip me,
we also made interest on auto loans
it's a real gift.
Deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
That's a very smart idea. That was a very smart idea. Encourage people to invest in American cars for the resale value.
Recently in
Very smart.
Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children Beautiful.
I haven't said
2
31 so
children.
far.
During the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and her expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half.
32.
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name that. Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man.
Oh, that's 33.
There in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded
I noticed that
courtesy
also.
of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
34.
They're great people.
Oh, thank you so much.
How do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
35.
So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody?
It's amazing.
It started with nothing. Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. They're setting every record in the book. It's popular.
I told my son-in-law to do that for my new grandson.
I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done, and they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth. And the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made right, Scott?
Look at him bashing them
Knowing
to their
that
face.
the legal power that I, as president,
It's all your
have
fault,
to
woman.
make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these
It's
powerful
your fault, Roberts.
country saving. It's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in.
It's ridiculous.
Peace
Major questions
protecting.
doctrine.
Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time.
In your face,
They're a little
Amy
more
Coney
complex,
Barrett.
but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will,
I
like
love him
in the
throwing
past,
this in their face.
substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
I have us at 36, by the way.
Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first.
That's funny.
I love America.
37. Yeah, that's a lot of idiots think that.
Came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New Scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen.
Mark Kelly.
Record-setting inflation that cost the
Sitting
typical
next to the
family
seditious six Slotkin.
$34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem.
Hakeem Jeffries.
You caused
it, Hakeem. 39. It's all your fault.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
40.
The price of eggs is down 60%. Madam Secretary, thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great healthcare plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own healthcare, which will be better healthcare at a much lower cost.
Capitalism wins again. 41. I want to see that plan. Warnock's gonna put that. What's up with it? Keep standing.
In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on healthcare and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before.
42.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action. But I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
43. Almost halfway there.
So in my first year of the second term, should be my third term, but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way.
You're right.
And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big. Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500.
Wow.
A reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom.
$45. It's amazing.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most
made that
favorite
EO
nation
and Biden
program
ripped it
into
up.
law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's
Your
raise
insulin should be
drug
down
prices
already.
by 700 or 800%.
It should
But
be down
John
already.
and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes.
$46.
And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Rachel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon.
$47.
We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement.
This is true.
And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
47.
Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
That'd be nice. Oh, even the Democrats standing for that one. 48. Wow, that's weird. Look at Democrats applauding. Why is it not passed yet?
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she was here? Count it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
He doesn't like that, Richard. Richard doesn't like that. Richard Blumenthal doesn't like that. He's 97 years old.
Even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
Oh, is Ilhan screaming like a lunatic? I should investigate that girl. And that's number 50. You did hear it, Ilhan.
He'll get it done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders
That's how we
brings
got
those
Ilhan.
problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
I can assume that's 51. Yeah.
Delilah Colvin was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
Two.
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
53.
And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
At 54, 55. At 54, 55. Lost count. Get them all.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you.
55.
We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again, if they ever had the chance, if they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you.
56.
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight, I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, Homeland Security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives
little Ukrainian flag
really
dude
believe.
Sleep at the wheel.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislature to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
I'll stand for that one. Here, here. You should all get up. 57 was a good one. Imagine wearing a Ukrainian flag pin in 2026, unironically. Imagine. Yes, if you sit up in bed, that does count. It may be. That would be 100. Yeah, it may be. We should count this one double. No, we don't. You don't put Americans over illegal aliens, do you? You Ukrainian schmucks, goofuses, seditious a-hole. I'm wondering who's standing next to Mark Kelly and applauding. Who is that?
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens.
Shut up.
In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Come. 58. USA, 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 USA. A little like hockey match breaking out here.
Most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
59. Where the hell's John Thune now? Cocaine Mitch.
Illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
60. You scum who hate America. You hate Americans. Money scum.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote.
61.
And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
I think that's part of the same one. He never sat down.
And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
Mike Johnson went down and got back up, so I'm counting this as a separate one. 62.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but
I was going to bring this up.
For that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Tomorrow morning, first thing. 63. Stupid Colonel Binman.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
64. They're here for calling that out. They're here for calling that out.
And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son.
Here, here.
Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
65. What's with that? What the heck is that? What's that? What is that? What is that? Hanging out with leftists too long.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
65.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
They are. They are. I'm counting that as 66. I don't know if he's standing up. I'll give it at 66.
Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
67.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal.
68.
This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
69.
So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
I'm going to give that a 70, just because. They would have gotten up for that one.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
One.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zuretska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people
It's true.
on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zuretska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
That's 71.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
72.
Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen?
23.
In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago.
94.
They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital.
They're sick.
And we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Eva Lee. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like her.
75. Name. They're vile and so
sorry.
destructive.
Thank you very
They're
much.
cancer.
A great young lady. I saw reports that were like perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night. And she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone. But his mother said, no, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melanie? She turned out to be right.
Number 6. It's a beautiful thing to say.
Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
'97. I don't know how much time he's got left. At 10 away.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
'98. He's an hour and 15 minutes into his speech now.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? And sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people, said the Prime Minister of Pakistan, would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Well, he just counted them off for you because he knows the struggle. 88.
And I also want to thank
Wait,
the
I'm
Mayday
confused.
Report
What number was I at?
Secretary of State
78. Sorry,
Marco
78.
Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
78. 79. Yeah, I was at 78. I said 88. I was at 78. This is 79 here.
People like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Oh, this is very thoughtful. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned.
That was
home.
79, by the way. 80. This was really nice. Thank you, Moon Safari.
Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible.
Oh, my God.
Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living.
You got it.
It was an amazing period of time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
When we got all of the living hostages back,
Wow.
and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back, but we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28.
Thank you.
And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, sir, we have our boy back. What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job.
'82.
And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
83.
Good. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people. with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb.
84.
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue, starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference.
85.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
86.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective.
And there's your 87.
So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed at my very strong request to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This
she looks so
exciting.
bad.
And every
she looks so bad. She looks like she lost a fight with like a coma. Like a personified coma came and just like was mopping her, and she's wrestling it. She looks so bad.
Every service member recently received a warrior dividend of
that was 89.
$1,776.
90.
You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for $1 more, we can have $1,776. It's going to. I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. $1 more. I said, $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also...
Anyone. The Democrats are learning. They're standing up for firemen now. They're learning. They're a very slow bunch, but eventually they're getting there.
We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
92.
And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed.
Oh, remember the seditious six over here. There's stupid little white outfit.
Damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January.
93.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive. Very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched. They saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby. As we did that, my baby is becoming so important. And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy. Good fighters.
I think he stood up there, so I'm going to give it 94.
The reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American
It was 95.
justice.
$95.
And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
96.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good.
By American.
While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg.
That took me a second.
Numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy, Eric, and Amy. Come on in.
97. True hero. Amazing. It's such a beautiful thing for him. That's like when an Olympian gets a gold medal.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Icon on 98. It's really beautiful. Look at that long-standing O.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg. We have it back. We brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House. And Eric will do that.
And that's number 100.
Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
$101. Did they say his age? This guy? Oh, look at how decorated he is. Rightfully so. He's 100 years old. You got applause number 101. You're going to break that hearing aid on that guy. Seriously, let him sit down.
Thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday.
That was someday. There you go.
But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an
Maybe
honor
Vance
to
will
be
give
in
it
the
to him.
same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you.
102.
Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath.
On July 4th.
Just
Same
a
day
single
as
long
Adams.
human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the
they're all
globe
sitting
with
together.
our
The
ingenuity.
siblings.
We captivated the planet
With their spouses sitting right behind
American
them.
culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years, they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is
He left
upon
out
us.
California.
The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
He did a wonderful job. He did a great job there. That was a great speech. Sometimes he gets a little bit long, and this was starting to get there. That was a very good job. That was an excellent job. Excellent. Excellent job. I'm counting this as the 103rd. I just want to blow the horn here for Liz and say thank you very much. I didn't want to interrupt the speech, obviously, but I very much appreciate your generosity. Thank you. And we are going to have a call in. And we hit the goal. There's one more for you because that's what's give you two. So thank you again.
The 2026 State of the Union Address. An hour and 47 minutes long, just about. That would be a record. That is the longest State of the Union in history as the president continues to make his way out of the chamber taken.
It didn't feel like an hour 47.
The audience.
It felt like an hour and 10.
Listening to some
hour
of this
and 20.
sound.
But it was technically an hour 47.
Oh, good. See you. Thank you.
Good job. Good baby.
Thank you.
Excellent speech. Thank you.
We are going to watch Spamberger.
Thank you. Mr. President. Mr. President. Thank you. Best ever.
So some of these that I promised the $10 ones that I was going to pull them up. That was cute. That was cute. Al Green, notable. Let's stay together. That was cute.
Thank you for honoring those veterans.
I just want to say thank you to you guys who helped us reach our goal tonight.
Take the rest of the day off.
I think we're going to have. Thank you.
All right, guys.
You killed it.
Thank you, Virginia. Great speech.
Thank you. It was amazing. It really was. Home run. Really, grand slam.
I agree. July 4th this year is going to be memorable.
Give me that time.
It's going to be memorable.
Initial, just an initial.
Thank you, boss. I like that time.
They're here.
Thank you, everybody.
This was funny.
Outstanding speech, sir.
Mr. President. Here you will. He's getting on. He's good.
You did good. They love the insider trading stuff.
How's he doing? He's a youngster.
He fell asleep a couple times.
You did amazing.
And of course, they didn't stand up for religion. They never stand up for religion.
Well done. God bless you.
Godless.
Thank you for this. Speech here. That's a big statement coming from you guys.
Great job. Great job.
Yes, sir. Love the finish.
Great job. Thank you, everybody. Great job. Great speech. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
That was the best speech.
No, thank you very much. Really, the best ever? That's a nice coming from you. That's a big statement.
It's also the longest.
Great job.
Also the longest.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Still need to talk to you.
Congratulations, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. President. That's great.
I want to comment about what Malcolm said here.
President Trump.
I want to comment what Malcolm said over here because Paulie commented right afterwards, and we're going to get to Spamberger in a moment or two. But Paulie's saying, he's saying how he hates Democrats, and he says you guys have so much hatred, it's sad. And what you're missing about this, what you're completely missing about this, Paulie, and many people miss, is that it's the attitudes that they display, it's their conduct, which just demands condemnation. It demands condemnation. If you don't condemn them, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with condemning people. Something wrong with refusing to condemn people who are serving in Congress and refuse to say that Americans should take priority over illegal aliens, which is when this comment came up. I mean, think about how backward that is. That you refuse to say that you're going to put Americans before illegal aliens. It's insanity. So, I mean, there's so many things about their policies which are self-destructive, harmful to the very people they're purportedly trying to help. It's a form of evil, which if it's not called out, if you're just like, oh no, you have a difference of opinion, if you don't call it out, you're actually helping to perpetuate evil, because you're saying that this is something that's an alternative perspective. It's not an alternative perspective. It's destructive. So yeah, I don't blame you. You want to not have our hatred? Like, at least, if you want to advocate for something, that, is appropriate for you to be advocating for, given the role that you were given. You're an elected member of Congress, elected by Americans. So you want to advocate for something that's actually, healthy and beneficial. Someone's advocating to spread cancer. You need to call that out. And if they literally said cancer, we want more people to have cancer. If they literally were saying that, or standing up for political violence, or other things that you currently recognize being evil, you would say, I would hope you would say, hey, you know what? That needs to be called out as being evil. And no, you should hate them for that. It's disgusting. It's awful. It's terrible. So when they're advocating to Frankenstein children, that's evil. You need to call that out. When they're advocating for inequality by basically saying, let's punish someone because he's born the wrong race, the race that we decide to disfavor in the 21st century, the white race. That's evil. So they need to be called out for that. And they stand up to say they try and mask that they're protecting the integrity of the vote by making sure they're destroying the integrity of the vote by saying we're not going to allow for us to have voter ID and voter registration from citizens. It's evil. They're stealing from us and stealing power. So yeah, it's not like we have his hatred in our hearts. We're looking for people to hate. In stark contrast to the Democrats, who are they're perpetually searching for an entity to hate so that they can ratchet together for the purposes of saying, vote for us because we're fighting against these people who are portraying as being evil. And perhaps that's the greatest evil that they perform. That perhaps that division that they're continually trying to sow, continually trying to harbor for the purposes of amassing greater political power, perhaps that's the greatest evil of them all. Because that becomes something which is irreconcilable. You cannot remedy this. Because they're taught to despise someone rather than based on who that person is, rather than based on the policies that they're advocating. And we know this is true because when he's advocating policies that 20 years ago the left was all over, because he's the one who's promoting it, they refuse to applaud. Now, this State of the Union, they woke up and recognized, oh, you know what? We look like idiots when we don't stand up and applaud. They refuse to stand up and applaud for like a little kid who, survived cancer. No, we're not applauding. Like, how stupid are you? How twisted are your morals? So I think that it's not a matter of like we're looking for people to hate. It's a matter of like we're calling something out as saying this is evil and it's intolerable. And it should be condemned. thank you for this very, very kind message, Moon Safari. Appreciate this. Hey, they dropped this on here. I try. I really do. I do my best here. And again, thank you, Liz, for your amazing generosity. We also said this, I never felt emotional connection in politics. Yeah, he's really done an amazing job of pulling people in. He's a very polarizing individual. He's incredibly polarizing in ways that we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time. In my lifetime. Even more than Obama, I think. Thank you, Pam. As always, you're amazing. And Sylvia, and Deb. And yeah, I put this aside just to say that they obviously, for one reason or another, decided that for optics, they wanted to have the Trump children sitting next to each other with their spouses sitting behind them. I noticed that also. It was strange. I was like, is Jared there? When I saw that Ivanka was sitting between Don and Eric. And I was like, oh, they're like, whatchamacallit. He's sitting like right behind her. Patriot Meter 11, it should be. It should be. That was a phenomenal speech. I need to pull up Spamberg, and I'm also going to have a call-in section here because, yeah, you guys were amazing. And I promised that. And Duck Fat was funny. If you count to 100, it's he shared this earlier. He said if you count to 100, you'll fulfill both your 2026 and 2027 New York basic math continuing education requirements. Thank God. Phew. I made it all the way up to 103. What a great speech. What a great speech. I think it's time for me to see if I can dig up Spamberger's response to the State of the Union. I don't know what made them think that she's the right person. Let's see.
Ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions.
All right, this is the response. These idiots. No, we're not that far behind. She just started.
Good evening and welcome to historic Williamsburg. We are gathered here in the chambers of the House of Burgesses. In 1705, the people of the Virginia colony gathered here to take on the extraordinary task of the United States was founded on the idea that ordinary people could reject the unacceptable excesses of poor leadership, band together to demand better of their government, and create a nation that would be an example for the world.
And we are. Thank God for that.
And this year, as we celebrate 250 years since America declared our independence from tyranny, I can think of no better place to speak to unions from tyranny. I can think of no better place to speak to you as we reflect on the current state of the world.
I don't know if she's chopping or she just speaks poorly or something like that, but yeah. She's obviously about to start calling him a tyrant, which is just insanity, but okay.
And this year, as we celebrate 250,
oh my God,
think of no better place. Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president.
Yes, you did.
So let's speak plainly and
what did you hear that was not true?
And let me ask you, the American people watching at home.
What did you hear that's not true?
3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family?
Yes, very hard.
Is the president
more effectively than any president we've seen,
both at home and abroad?
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Is the president working for you?
Yes.
As
he's doing
I
exactly what we
last year, I traveled to every corner of Virginia, and I heard the same pressing concern.
No, you didn't.
Costs are too high.
Yeah, that's a leftover from Biden. Oh my God.
Childcare.
Like, what do you expect? What is he like?
Conversations are being had.
You think he's supposed to perform miracles and all of a sudden drop prices that he's been bringing him down?
The president took office last year. His reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs.
What?
Small businesses
you just totally made that number up.
Farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Every day, America.
That's like me saying, yeah, this speech cost me $1,700. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Where do you come up with that number?
Americans are paying the price. And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done.
No, it hasn't. We already had the benefits of $18 trillion in investment in our country. $18 trillion.
Meanwhile, the president is planning for new tariffs, another massive tax hike.
That's not a massive tax hike at all. You don't know how that works.
Republicans in Congress, they remain unwilling to assert their constitutional authority to stop him. They're making your life harder. They're making your life more expensive. They're even making it more difficult to see a doctor.
What?
Rural health clinics in Virginia and across the country are already closing their doors thanks to the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, championed by the president and Republicans in Congress.
No, that's because of your stupid Obamacare, which basically said we're going to keep jacking up prices and jacking up prices. We're going to have American taxpayer pay for this forever until we're bankrupted.
And tonight, the president celebrated this law, the one threatening rural hospitals, stripping health care from millions of Americans and
rural
driving
hospitals.
up costs in
That's
energy,
all Obamacare.
Housing.
That's all
while
Obamacare.
cutting food programs.
Little known fact: Obamacare decided to roll back, to make sure they were going to fund the first 10 years, and then it died. It ran out, but then they resurrected it because of COVID, and now Democrats want to keep resurrecting those financial aids in perpetuity, forever. But it was a failure from the day it was rolled out. It will always be a failure. There's no way it can ever catch up. And all it's done has been doing to make insurance companies fat and greedier and greedier.
Hungry
with
kids.
No transparency. No one knows what the hell's
Virginia,
happening. And you have zero accountability because you need to stand behind that stupid, lousy from inception Obamacare.
State legislature to lower costs and make the Commonwealth more affordable.
Lowering costs doesn't mean, by raising taxes, lowering costs. Idiot.
And it's not just me. Democrats across the country are laser focused on affordability.
No, they're
in our
not.
nation's capital.
Where were you for 4 years?
Capitals and communities
Where were you for 4 years?
In the most innovative and exceptional nation in the history of the world, Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on
only laser that Democrats focus is on the genitalia of minors.
Addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries.
That's why he lowered it with he lowered it with one EO, and it got jacked up by Biden, who decided to rip up that EO, and now he put that EO back in place. The favored nation EO is specifically designed to make sure that Americans have the lowest possible prescription medicines anywhere in the world. It directs, in case you're unfamiliar with what it was something he brought up during his State of the Union, is that the favored nation EO says this: whatever pharmaceuticals charge for drug X, the lowest rate they charge to any other country in the world, they must match here in America. So they're not telling that. What basically saying is, don't start taking advantage of Americans. If you're able to afford selling drug X for $20 in Cambodia, then Americans are getting it for $20. That's what it says. Whatever it is that you're charging, you must match that for Americans. This is a brilliant concept because he's not telling them what they have to charge. He's simply saying, we're going to get the same rate that we're a favored nation, and we're going to get the same rate that you're charging other nations for that drug. If the lowest rate is $500 for an IVF, well, then you're going to charge $500 instead of charging $4,000. This is what he implemented in 2020, a few months before the election, and overnight dropped the cost of insulin by like 80%. And he's re-implementing it now. Something that it was an EO that Biden ripped up on January 20th, 2021. Because it had Trump's name on it. That's why. And they've been fighting and scrambling. How do we possibly fix the ridiculous price of drugs? He fixed it. He fixed it with a swish of his pen. And they're sitting here crying about the cost of medicines. Oh, Americans can't afford it. Well, they can now. Thank God for Donald Trump. They couldn't under Biden or under you guys or your stupid Obamacare.
So I'll ask again. Is the president working to make life more affordable?
1,000%.
And your family?
1,000%, yes.
We all know the answer is no. I grew up in a house of service. My mother was a nurse, and my father was a career law enforcement officer.
What a creepy smile you have.
By following in my father's footsteps as a federal agent, working money laundering and narcotics cases. I work side by side with local and state police to keep our community safe and to uphold and enforce the law. Law enforcement officers across the country know that it is a unique responsibility to do the serious work of investigating crimes, comforting victims, and making arrests. It's about building trust, and that requires an abiding sense of duty and commitment to community. And yet, our president has sent poorly trained federal agents into our cities,
yes,
where they have arrested and detained American citizens and people who aspire to be
They're not detained.
And they have done it without a warrant.
Wrong.
They have ripped nursing mothers away from their babies. They have.
And you've been encouraging them to. So think about how stupid this is. You and your compatriots there have been encouraging Americans to engage these people who you're claiming are reckless. Hey, would you ever encourage your own children to engage someone who you genuinely believe is poorly trained and has their finger on a gun? Would you ever encourage your children to do that? So you either don't give the slightest the slightest cahooties about your constituents, or you don't believe what you're saying right now. Who would do such a thing? Think about this. Would you ever tell your own child, "Oh yeah, that person there who's poorly trained, that's the one, that's the guy you need to start harassing and vexing. Stand in his way, spit at him, curse at him." Yeah, that's what you should be doing. Who would do such a thing? But you're a liar. That's what you are, Abigail Spamberger.
And children. A little boy in a blue bunny hat. Children.
Yeah, he wasn't detained. He was saved from a father who abandoned him. They're so desperate. If they couldn't lie, they would have nothing to say.
And they have killed American citizens in our streets.
No, they haven't.
And they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability.
Only in self-defense.
Every minute spent sowing fear is a minute not spent investigating murders, crimes against children, or the criminals defrauding seniors of their life savings. Our president told us tonight that we are safer.
We are. Much safer.
These agents arrest mothers?
No, we're safer because there's 2 million fewer illegal aliens in our country right now. Thousands and thousands of murderers. That's how you're safer. It's pretty obvious.
And detain children? Think about that.
Children aren't detained.
Our broken immigration system is...
Like by their logic, they should just let the 5-year-old wander the streets by himself, right? That's what they should have done. Doofus.
Something to be fixed, not an excuse for unaccountable agents to terrorize our communities.
Our communities. Terrorizing illegal aliens.
In law enforcement, I continued my career of service as a CIA officer, working undercover to protect the United States and our allies.
Professional liar. Oh yeah, the CIA. That's our heroes.
Of adversarial nations around the globe.
The CIA who worked with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein to engage in conduct that was illegal under the law. Good job, you.
But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to cede economic power and technological strength to Russia.
What?
Bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator.
We're just going to make stuff up now. Just bow. Cede to Russia? I don't know. Maybe did she read it long? She was supposed to say China?
And make plans.
Yeah, make plans.
For war with Iran. Here's the truth. Over the last year.
How many wars has he started so far? Oh, 0. Oh.
Through Doge, mass firings, and the appointment of deeply unserious people to our nation's most serious positions.
You're a deeply unserious person because you have to sit here making stuff up. You're a deeply unserious person.
Our president has endangered the long and storied history of the United States of America being a force for good. So I'll ask again, is the president working to keep Americans safe?
1,000%.
And abroad.
All over the world.
We all know the answer is
eight fewer wars because of him. Counted it off.
no.
This is such a lousy speech.
In his speech tonight, the president did what he always does.
Oh, what's
He
that?
lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted.
You know where?
He offered no real solution.
Tell us one lie. One lie. Tell us what it was. She pre-wrote this, so she can't. She's just assuming.
To our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which
Governor of Virginia
making worse. He tries to divide us. He tries to enrage us, to pit us against one another, neighbor against neighbor. And sometimes he succeeds. And so you have to ask, who benefits
this is from the party division.
His rhetoric, his policies, his actions?
Every
the
American.
Short list of laws he's pushed through.
Every
this
American has
Republican
benefited
Congress.
from it. Every single one.
Somebody must be benefiting.
Every American.
He's enriching himself, his family, his friends. The scale of the corruption is unprecedented.
Oh, yeah?
There's the cover-up of
Is
the
he starting
Epstein
fake
files,
wine
the
companies
crypto
and
scam.
making $30 million overnight the way Ilhan did? You're sitting here. Have you ever pointed to any corruption on your side of the aisle? You're so quick to just make assumptions about how he's enriching himself. And what about Nancy Pelosi? What about Maxine Waters? All the stuff that's been going on for decades. All of a sudden you're pretending that you're really concerned about corruption. No, you're just finger pointing and trying to scapegoat with just innuendo without even having anything to back it up.
Cozying up to foreign princes for airplanes and billionaires for ballrooms, putting his name and face on buildings all over our nation's capital.
Well, that technically is something that everyone does. Every president has done that. Frankly, we've seen senators and congressmen do the same thing.
This is not what our founders envisioned, not by a long shot.
That's been going on since before you were born, honey.
So I'll ask again, is the president working for you?
Every single day.
We all know the answer is no.
Oh, I got it wrong. I thought you were going to say obviously. Obviously, yeah. Oh, I keep getting it wrong.
Here's the special thing about America. On our 250th anniversary, we know better than any nation what is possible when ordinary citizens, like those who once dreamed right here in this room, reject.
I gotta tell you something. Just I can appreciate this more because I've been making thumbnails and stuff like that. The lighting that they have in this place here, this was a very poor choice because I become much more cognizant about this because I have these interactive dialogues with AI about how to tweak my thumbnails to make them more appealing. The lighting in here is just something that it gives the shadow of death. Like her face looks like there was a mortician who tried to resurrect her, and it's mostly the lighting, I think.
The unacceptable and demand more of their government. We see it in the determination of students organizing school walkouts all across the country.
Yeah, because we don't care. Well, frankly, with the indoctrination they're getting in schools, I don't know that it's that much that they're losing, but it's pretty pathetic that that's what you're standing up for.
Whose voices are becoming so powerful that the governor of Texas seeks to silence them. We see it in the bravery of Americans in Minnesota standing up for their communities.
Their communities, for illegal aliens. And you throw them in the line of fire like they're Russian soldiers in World War II. You're basically throwing them like bodies and having them engage in conspiracy to thwart federal agents. Well, that's good.
From peacefully protesting in sub-zero temperatures to carpooling children to school so that their immigrant parents are not ripped away from them.
They're not immigrants. They're invaders. If they're immigrants, they wouldn't have to worry. They wouldn't be ripped anywhere.
In the parking lot. As a mother of 3 school-age daughters, I am inspired by their bravery.
I feel bad for your 3 school-age kids.
But I am sickened that it is necessary.
I'm sickened by
and
you.
Americans across the country are taking action. They are going to the ballot box to reject this chaos. With their votes, they are writing a new story, a more...
And with the votes of illegal aliens and plus a little cheating. With that, things are looking up.
hopeful story. In November, I won my election by 15 points.
Yeah, she was supported. The NAACP supported her over her female black adversary. And I'll show you.
And we won 13 new seats in our state legislature.
It makes you wonder what the hell's happening in Virginia.
Because voters decided they wanted something different. Our campaign earned votes from Democrats, Republicans, independents, and everyone in between. Because they knew as citizens they could demand more, that they could vote for what they believe matters, and that they didn't need to be constrained.
Fortunately, there's
by
only
a
3 minutes
party
of
or
this dribble
political
left.
affiliation. This is happening across the country. New Jersey elected Mikey Sherrill as governor in a double-digit victory.
No, that's New Jersey. Unfortunately, we're swamped here. Frankly, I question our elections here, too.
Democrats flipped state legislative seats in places like Georgia, Iowa, Mississippi, and Texas. The list goes on and on. Ordinary Americans are stepping up to run in the spirit of our forefathers. They are running to demand more and to do more for their neighbors and communities. I know the story well. I first ran for office in 2018 alongside dozens of other Democrats who did the seemingly impossible, flipping 41 seats in Congress. In my case, I was the first Democrat elected in 50 years, swinging our district 17 points. Those who are stepping up now to run will win in November because Americans, you at home, know you can demand more and that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you.
No one believes that. What's your policies? We don't even know your policies other than stop Trump. Oh, yeah, more DEI and higher taxes.
In his farewell address, George Washington warned us about the possibility of, quote, cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men.
He also warned us about having long-term allies, long-term treaties with other nations. But you seem married to NATO 30 years after the Cold War ended. So I'm not sure what the hell you're up about if you're quoting George Washington's farewell address.
Rising to power. But he also encouraged us, all Americans, to unite in a common cause, to move this nation forward. That is our charge once more, and that is what we are seeing across the country.
Isn't that a creepy smile, this woman?
American and patriotic to do so, and it is how we ensure that the state of our union remains strong, not just this year. But
another way to ensure that the state of our union remains strong is that you don't encourage sedition, the way the seditious six did. You want the state of our union strong, basically trying to weaken our military any way possible. First, you're trying to weaken it under Biden with your trans policies, and now you're trying to weaken it by encouraging defection. So, yeah, I don't think you care about having a strong America.
For the next 250 years as well, because we, the people, have the power to make change, the power to stand up for what is right, the power to demand more of our nation.
In 250 years from now, there won't be any Democrats. There won't be a party anymore.
May God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and may God bless the United States of America.
Oh, good. It's over. Mercifully short, I guess. Well, that was an embarrassing web of lies. But now, I promised that we're going to open up the phone line so you can weigh in with me. You can weigh in. If people want to talk, you call in. You say to me, Joe, how do we get through? How do we talk to you? I'm feeling all patriotic now after that amazing speech from Donald Trump. How do I talk to you? Well, the answer is you got to call me on my Google Voice number over here. That's the first way to do it. And you say, Joe, what's the number? Well, the number is 972-454-0703. 972-454-0703. I'm going to change the ticker that's running along the bottom there, which now says, please hit the like and subscribe. Don't think that means you shouldn't hit the like and subscribe. You probably should have hit it by now already. But we sent a link to gun law in Virginia, which is trying to take away our guns. I'm gonna change the banner here to reflect that number. Here it is. It's around that time you should hit the like and subscribe buttons. Look at this. Already a call.
Call from
Yanso.
To accept.
Yanso!
Hey, how you doing, Good Logic?
Thank God, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. It was a great speech. I think one of the best.
It was
honestly.
An excellent speech. It was. Indeed.
Really proud to be an American right now.
Oh, good.
Really proud. No, it fired me up. You know, I'm leaving for basic training in a couple of weeks, March 16.
Yep.
I'll be there down in Missouri, Fort Leonard Wood, for 5 months till August. And, you know, seeing those great men and women of the military being handed, you know, medals and, you know, being applauded. It was just, it made me glad that I decided to join now under President Donald J. Trump.
Amen.
You know, and serving my country under him.
And I tip my cap to you for that. It's a very brave thing that you're doing, and it's very noble to serve your country and to just sign up and literally willing to risk your life on behalf of your country. That's the ultimate patriotism. So God bless you.
Definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna be probably not you know, I'm not an infantryman. I won't be an infantryman. Mm-hmm. I'll be an MP, police officer in you know, in the National Guard. But either way,
but even those are putting their lives at risk. Look at the gentleman that he called up tonight, who was almost killed. I mean, anyone, it doesn't. However you choose to serve, that it's willing to risk your life on behalf of your country, and it's tremendous nobility. Yeah. So God bless you.
And it'll be a great honor to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, you know, sometimes he weaves and jumps into different topics, but I don't think he didn't do that a lot.
No, he really didn't. He really
and
didn't.
Honestly, I wouldn't have minded another 30 minutes of it. It was just banger after banger, applaud after applaud. You know, it was funny that on the first poll that you put on the standing ovation, I put that he was going to get less.
Right.
36.
I thought that was a good estimate. 38. I thought that was a good estimate.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, after like 20 minutes, you know, through the speech, yeah, it was going to be more.
I was like,
you know it.
Yeah, and the thing is this, I was like, how high a number can I put? When I was readjusting the number from 38 upwards, I was like, how high a number can I put that is possible he's actually going to hit? And I came up with 87. And he just blew right past that to 103 standing O's. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was, and then, you know, of course, you have the Democrats. Surprised as well as he was that they stood in some moments. Of course, I don't think they couldn't have afforded not to stand in some situations, because they would have been destroyed. And I think they're going to be destroyed either way. In Twitter, you know, in social media, just because they have made fools of themselves. Not clapping when you know the hockey champions came through.
I think they did stand for the hockey champions ultimately.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention, honestly.
Yeah,
I was just hearing the whole thing. So sorry if they did, but I'm glad they did, because, you know, Democrats online, they're just saying like, look at all these Republicans applauding these Republican hockey players and all that. You don't have to be Republican to love your country.
Right.
You don't have to be Republican to say that I'm proud to be an American, with all the good and bad stuff.
Yeah,
that's what you get.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
All right, my brother.
And it's infuriating. Yeah. No. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I want Lily, or is it Lily who donated those $300?
Liz.
Oh, Liz. Sorry, I want Liz to join in because I'm glad that she joined. She did that. She was great of her to do so.
She's amazing.
So
she's a massive supporter of the channel, and I'm forever indebted to her. Yeah, if she calls in, I'd love to. I'm sure everyone would love to hear from her. So
definitely.
and if she puts her, if she tells me what area code it is, I'll call her back. because I know sometimes it can be hard. It can be a challenge to get through. So
oh, definitely.
Area code or the last 4 digits of her number, and I see that number pop up, I'll ring back so we can all hear from her directly. All right?
Yeah. No, that's all I wanted to say. That honestly, I'm glad that he took the time to celebrate all those wonderful military men.
Yeah. Amen. I agree with you. I think
logic.
It's a beautiful thing when he does that. It's very tear-jerking. Yeah. Have a good night, my brother, and thank you again for your service in advance.
Appreciate it.
972-454-0703 is the number if you want to call in, as I just cleared up the line. And I think that what I want to do is, in case, I'm always sort of torn as to when I have the phone lines open, giving content for between calls and stuff like that. But I do have actually an array of content to give you guys here. I have a whole bunch of links. Phone lines are going to stay open, so I want to be clear about that because I'm true to my word. And what ends up happening is 2 people end up calling at once. So we'll take the one that came through first.
Call from
Brian.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Brian.
Hey, Joe.
How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
My friend Sin is in the chat here. Sup my N-word. My N-word. Sup my N-word. Hi, chat. Yeah, there you go. Hey, good to see you, Sin. How you doing, Brian? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm doing very well. Nothing. I'm just very happy that you covered what you did today.
Thank you.
I think Trump did a great. I think it was very focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People are saying he's running out of steam. I'll tell you, that was the longest speech. That was the longest State of the Union in history. There's a period there during the last 15 minutes where he seemed like he was losing a little bit of strength. But I think if he was 50, anyone would be losing strength. When you stand up there speaking for so long and addressing a crowd like that, that's just remarkable how much strength this man has. He really is a powerhouse.
Oh, I think and obviously the pushback he's been getting too as well. I think this is a big buildup.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're going to push into the midterms, and then we got July.
Frankly, he's going to need to get out there and campaign for these people if he wants to keep his majorities in the House and Senate, particularly the House. He's going to need to get out there and push to get people to come out to vote.
That's tough for us.
It is. It is very tough, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, we're notorious for.
It shouldn't be. I mean, look. We win midterms when there's a Democrat in the White House. We do.
Yeah, I know a couple, but yes, you're correct in that. But
I don't remember the numbers. If we look at the
don't.
2022 numbers, I'll bet you we won the we won the midterms there. We won we lost them in 2018. Whoever's sitting in the House tends to lose. I'm almost positive in 2014 and 2010.
Coming to that, but yes, correct.
Yeah, but so I think that invariably we do much better in midterms when there's a Democrat in there because everyone is so sickened by the Democrat policies. So I'm sure that the Democrats would frame it the exact opposite way.
Yeah, you know where I'm thinking, right?
What's that?
Because when you have total control, of the House and the Senate.
Oh yeah, of course. Like winning is really important. But frankly, I'll tell you this much.
But what
Here's
have
the
they
thing.
gotten us?
Yeah,
Gotten us
exactly.
something.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you this question: if John Thune and Mitch McConnell refuse to bring the Save America Act to the floor of the Senate, and they keep it from getting to the floor of the Senate, so you tell me why should Americans believe that the midterms matter? Why should we think they matter?
Well,
because whoever's sitting in freaking Congress is not going to do it.
Comment?
They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. That's what you're telling us.
Filibuster would be the biggest one, right?
To make it a standing filibuster, you can't stand there for 40 days. Like the record is.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not going to have the ability to stand there for 40 days. Eventually, they're going to have to. They're going to sit down. They're going to get tired. They'll just sit down. So.
No,
Liz, area code 614. She said she would call. I actually see 614 here, so I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call her back. I'm gonna call her right back after I get off the phone here.
But Joe, thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
You know, I always appreciate you, brother. You know, what I mean, you've always been very kind to me.
Well, look, I appreciate I get overwhelming support from my fans and from callers, and I'm genuinely appreciative of it.
Yeah, so. We just didn't know each other yesterday. It's been like 4 or 5 years now, I think.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
In which way? Bless the family and bless everybody, and thank you for your time.
Well, blessings on you and your entire family, my friend. God bless you.
And the Jeep is still going.
The Jeep. We're a ways away from the Jeep.
Yeah, $20,000.
Yeah, that is old school. 20,000, please.
Yes.
You can't get no Jeep for $20,000 these days.
I know. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Take care, my brother.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to see if this is Liz. I see a call from 614 area code. I'm going to try calling it. We're going to see. We'll see if this is Liz.
Okay.
Is that Liz?
Joe.
Liz?
I'm here.
Hey. It's still ringing in the background there. I don't know why I'm hearing it.
I know, I hear it.
You got the...
Wait, let me turn it down because I'm a doofus.
Okay.
Okay, it's down because I'm a technological absolute moron.
You can't be worse than me.
No, I'm pretty bad. If it's a black box, no, Joe. If it's a black box, my brain just goes dead.
How are you doing tonight? So first of all, I want to express my gratitude to you publicly because you display just very generous super chats, and
you're welcome.
I'm very appreciative of it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so here's the deal. Mm-hmm. Every single time I see you, you remind me of my dad, and that's like a good thing.
Oh,
my
cool.
dad was well. First of all, he was an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
That's check number one.
There you go.
But he never But you know what? He never practiced law. He went to law school, never became like a lawyer.
What did he do with his law license?
He went to law school. He wanted to be a businessman, so he started his own commercial real estate company.
Oh, there you go. A lot of lawyers do that. A lot of lawyers get into real estate.
Yeah. Well, so I worked there for like 10 years, and I have no idea what he did. I'm not kidding. I have no clue.
All right. Well, he kept the roof over your head.
Yeah, he did.
Well, there you go.
Quite nicely. Yeah.
Well, then he's doing his job. Right?
Okay, but you just remind me of my dad. That's just like that was just why I wanted to call. Was to say you're like my walking dad.
Well,
you're like my second dad.
I'm very flattered. Thank you.
Well, it's a compliment because my dad, he died, I think he died like maybe 6 years ago. But, oh my gosh, you want to talk about a moral, upright, outstanding. He was very smart. He was a good dude, just like you.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you that when I was a counselor in camp, everyone always looked at me as if I was their older brother. Like I was like everyone always. I've always been looked at in that sort of way as being like that older brother. It's the being viewed as being a dad is. I think that's part of the beard going gray. So like people
part of it.
Yeah, so people look at it that way. But
Well, what camp? Wait. What camp were you a counselor at?
It was called Camp Simcha. This was
we're
going back.
Camp.
Yeah, of course. I'm going back to like 1987.
So you actually led young men? That's kind of scary.
I'll tell you this much. So the first time when I first started there, I worked there for 3 years. When I first started there, I was a counselor's assistant. I was thinking 1984. I think I was counselor's assistant to like 8th graders. And then when I came back in 86, they gave me younger kids because it was more challenging. The younger kids are more challenging than older kids. Older kids, you just sort of like all hanging out. Like they were like 4 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was 15, they were like 12. You know, they were 3 years younger than me. But then when I came back in 86, so they gave me like 5th graders. So they were like 10 years old. And then when I came back in the next year, 1987, they were like, okay, they basically decided to give me like the youngest. Like they gave me first graders.
So you went like the sliding down scale.
But that's because I think they were recognizing that like I was a pretty good counselor. And in fact, I even became the color word general, in which I ended up winning color word. I wrote the theme song, and I was just like, but everyone there looked at me as like I was their older brother. Like I was just like, when I would take care of them. In fact, that's how I started the whole thing with calling people diggers, because when I had those first graders, so I would never say, you guys want to play kickball. I would just be like, all right, I'm going to go play kickball. Anyone wants to come with me? And they'll be like, yay. Like I made like, we were like a club, like hanging out and just sort of like, and then I was like the leader of a gang there, and they just would follow along. And that's why the origin of the term diggers that I refer to for locals is that, I'd be like, I'd be running over to him. I'm like, hey, Ronnie, come on, don't you want to play? Let's go. And he's like, no, I just want to dig. And he's like, I'm good. And he's just sitting in the corner with a stick. And there was like 3 of them sitting in the corner with like sticks and just like digging holes in the ground. And no matter how like enthused or anything I did, I could not get them to want to play any sports. And at a certain point, I was like, all right, these are my diggers. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what the rest of the world is doing. They're happy. They're safe. They're enjoying themselves. They're actually socializing with each other. They're a little crew of diggers. So I just basically like, all right, those are my diggers. I'm never going to get them to want to play anything. They don't like playing sports. So like they'll just sit there digging. As long as they're safe and they're happy, what do I worry? So,
oh my gosh, Joe! So we are like your little campers, and we're like your little
for my first grade, right? Well, the ones in locals. So then, one time when I was looking in locals, and I saw like I was having this whole conversation. I was talking about like I don't know, Biden and botching Afghanistan, and I look into the chat in locals, and I see that in locals they're having this whole conversation about bowling, and I'm just like, what the heck is wrong with you? I'm like, it was like some ridiculous conversation, had nothing to do because someone made a comment about bowling. And like the next thing I know, there's 5 of them just talking about bowling in there. And I was like, you know what? They're happy. They're safe. They're here. What do I care? They're my diggers. So that was the origin. That, in case you're wondering why I refer to the locals as my diggers, that the ones who are old school and been here a while, they know that's the origin. I've told that over before.
Yeah, but I kind of like the fact that we're also your campers.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you're like the camp counselor.
That's what I like doing. I mean, let's not make it sound creepy, but yeah, basically.
you're like our camp counselor, and we're like your little campers.
That's kind of, I think, how people on some level or another, like you look at me like your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
It's the same sort of thing where it's just like, let's just chill with old man Joe, and he's gonna just sort of like, try and make things entertaining and talk to us about the world and life.
But here's the deal: if you represent my dad, please don't yell at me and go, "Damn it, Elizabeth." Can't do that.
Never. No matter what the situation, no matter the situation.
Never. Nope. Damn it, Elizabeth! I can still hear it. Damn it, Elizabeth! And it was a regular occurrence. No, actually, I was a good kid. I just was kind of feisty. I had a mouth on me. I kind of had a mouth. I was really a good kid. I never got into any trouble. I just had a mouth.
Yeah, well,
I had a mouth on me.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my dad didn't know how to handle me either. Like he was like, but where I would just sort of like be trying to like, I'd be trying to like one up his logic and anything that he was like throwing at me, and just playing semantics games like a bratty kid. But
no, but here's the deal. Joe. I have 2 older sisters, and they're like really, really boring and quiet. And then I come along, and so when I was like 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5, my parents took me to a child psychiatrist because they didn't know what to do with me. 4 at 4. And
wow.
So the psychiatrist said, she's kind of like push your buttons and take you to the limit, and you just kind of have to sit on her. And my dad was good at sitting on me, scaring the shit out of me.
Nice.
That's what dads do. They sit on their children, as they should.
So that's my question. Should I lecture people when they're wrong? Should I be like, okay, now you listen here, young lady. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing? If like people are giving me
exactly. You can say that. That's approved.
Okay. All right. No, I need to know, I'm sort of
walking
a tightrope here. Yeah.
Okay, and here's the other thing I have to tell you.
Okay.
So if I was like planning a trip to good old New York City, because I live in Ohio, this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna tell Joey, old boy, that I'm going to be in New York City, and you're going to hop on the train, and we're going to have lunch.
No
but
promise.
I don't know when it will be.
No promise.
It'll be like in 5 years or something.
Look,
when that Mandami gets out of there.
When we get to that, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Like you
know what though? But wait, let me ask you: does Mandami scare you?
Oh, terrifies.
Yeah,
terrifies. Mandani is he's. I mean, I was actually have a couple of clips here because I wasn't sure if we were going to hit the goal. I wasn't sure how long this thing was going to be. So I actually have like in the shoot, like like they sort of lined up. I have those tabs. Yeah. I've got like I don't know, like 20 tabs here, and several of them relate to Mondani and touch on the whole snowball thing that.
Oh yeah.
And the shovels thing that Trump brought up, and his stupid program. He's already talking about raising. Causing a rate hike in rents, even though like his whole platform was no rent freezes. I'm going to tell you something. This weekend, so we spent Shabbos in Brooklyn. Right, my brother-in-law was making a bar mitzvah for his son, so our whole family drove from Jersey to Brooklyn. When you're driving in Brooklyn now, this is the insane thing. Okay. The city speed limit is 25 miles an hour. And they have cameras everywhere. The entire way and the price of a speeding ticket, I don't think it affects your points on your license.
The speed limit to 25?
I don't think this is him. This is something I think that's happened over the last couple of years. It's 25 miles an hour. You're driving on Ocean Parkway, okay? In case you're unfamiliar with Ocean Parkway.
Yeah, I know what it is. I know where it is.
I know it's so Ocean Parkway basically cuts north through south through Brooklyn. And it's 6 lanes plus 2 service lanes on the outside. It's basically this big, massive wide street, and the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, and every other block there's a camera designed to catch you. And I didn't even look up. It's almost impossible to not accidentally slip over 25. You hit 26 miles an hour, 27, boom, ticket.
Well, it's a flow of traffic going 25.
Yeah, of course it is. Because otherwise you seriously you go broke. You can get hit when you drive from one place to another. You're heading to the Prospect Expressway to get on the BQE and go over the bridge into Manhattan, and you're basically, if you drive like a mile and a half on there, you can get 4 tickets and for going 30 miles an hour.
So what is the chatter inside of Manhattan about Mandami? What do they say?
Do
they like him?
You think I know these people there? I think I talked to the affluent, white female liberals.
Well, what do you think they're thinking?
Well, right now, you see that a lot of the residents in New York don't have a car, right? You have to recognize that. Like the ones living in Manhattan, they don't have a car because they're you have your college kids who are basically broken. They take the subway to and from wherever they have to go, and so they don't have a vehicle, and they basically they're it's very difficult for me to relate to a typical New Yorker. I know the Ortho Jews can't stand him. I mean, they despise Mamdani, but they're still, even though it's the biggest Jewish community, well, probably, I'm not sure anymore, but it's outside of Israel. It's
Yeah, I read that. You're right.
It's been changing. It's been changing recently. I actually read that I actually was hearing that Lakewood might have more Jews now than Brooklyn, but that they basically they're far from being any sort of voting majority in New York, and they can't stand Mamdani. I mean, he's really
Well, that's
a
good to hear.
disaster.
I mean, that's good to hear.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, all the liberals love communism, and then you got, the Hispanics and blacks. They came out and voted for him. So this was
But you know what, Joe? When I hear the news coming out of New York City, and my reaction is, well, you voted for it. You voted him in.
Yep.
You're going to get what you voted for.
Yeah, and I'm very hesitant to go there. I really am. I'm very hesitant to go into New York these days. Go there.
Why? Because it'll break your heart, or because you're fearful of?
I'm not really afraid. I'm not really afraid per se. I mean, it's an interesting thing, because when I'm not on show, I am wearing a yarmulke all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a dangerous thing to wear a yarmulke in New York, but in Europe these days, in cities, it is. And,
Yeah.
And it's not like there can't become that. People think it can never become like that in America. That's just foolish to think that it can never become like that here. Of course it can.
It's coming.
So yeah, I mean, it's been steadily developing in that direction, and just the whole pro-Palestinian perspectives of him. It's a disaster. It's really a disaster. But like you said, that's what they voted for. And I'm sort of left torn between rooting for it to be exposed as a failure, and then feeling like, okay, how could they be a failure and America be a success under Trump? Like, you're sort of like, it's pretty hard to sort of orchestrate it that New York is individually a failure without them sinking the rest of the country financially. So I don't know. It's
that's
sort of
my fear, is that it's going to spread.
Yeah. It's legitimate fear, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, Dad. I'll let you go.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. And again, thank you for your support. It really helps the channel out.
Well, actually, Joe, you know what it is? You can thank my dad.
Thanks, Dad.
There you go.
Every time I use that phrase, thanks, Dad, I always think of Married with Children, where it's like, Peggy is like, well, once again, your father's ruined another perfectly good trip. Thank you, Father, kids. And they go like, thanks, Dad. So like every time I use that term,
just remember, you're talking to a girl that went to a shrink when she needed a shrink when she was 4 years old.
That is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, well, I kept my dad hopping.
All right.
I kept him hopping. I kept him on his toes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I thank you again, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Take care, my friend. All right. Voted for it means the conservative minority is suffering. That's why I moved to a different state. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Typically what happens in America is we tend to vacillate from having like healthy to unhealthy, from healthy to unhealthy. That's just what ends up happening. That's what ends up happening a lot. So what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. The number is 972-454-0703. And this is a friend of mine.
Call from
Waiters.
Shy.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? This is a person I know that's on the phone right now. This guy who lives in the community, is a friend of mine. What's up with you, brother?
Well, that's what I'm calling. I didn't see you this past Shabbos. I figured I got to call you now.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out, making sure I was okay. I had a bar mitzvah of my brother-in-law in Brooklyn. So
Oh, poor you. Have to go all the way to Brooklyn. That's like a torture in itself.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful affair. So it was really
I'm
nice.
sure the affair was. I'm just saying, getting to Brooklyn could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just explaining. Like, you literally on Ocean Parkway, you cannot go over 25.
Oh,
you'll see a flash of light, and you're like, "Oh, that's $200."
Yeah, I got one. I got a speeding ticket. Funnily, in September, I was doing a search and rescue for a missing elderly person, part of my volunteer work, and I got a speeding ticket for it. So I called my friend who was running the search. I'm like,
How much is it? How much is the speeding ticket?
$50.
Really? That's it?
Yeah. So I was like,
I was sure it's gonna be worse.
Like, technically, I was doing like a search and rescue. He goes, dude, just pay it. It's not even. They'll never forgive them.
In New York City, or you were in New Jersey?
I was in Queens. I went out to Queens to help Queens Chavarian.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope you were successful in your search and rescue.
Oh yeah, we were successful. Thankfully, the guy was found. And I don't know how he's doing now, but he was doing well at that time. Yeah.
So did you get a chance to watch the speech tonight?
I was watching you. Well, I was watching your stream of it. Yeah, it was very.
I don't know.
It was very good. Yeah, that's true. I do work. It was a good speech. I think overall he hit all the points he needed to. Definitely, I hear your point about him petering out a little bit to the end, and that's classic Trump. Never knows when to stop when he's ahead.
Right.
But I think overall it's one of his powerful speeches. But now the real word is we need Congress to do something, and they've been useless as anything.
So the Senate is just impossible. They're really impossible. They have to kill the filibuster. Have you heard me speak out as the moral justification for banning the filibuster?
Yep, and I agree. So I can hear an argument from me on that.
Yeah, I mean the reason for the filibuster is to motivate the majority to work with the minority, to sort of come to something that's not going to be pushing too far in one direction. I know that Shai is familiar with me saying this because he's watching me every day. But for those of you who don't watch me every day, the point that I'm making is that the objective behind it is that you have folks who are on the same agenda of trying to make America better, so that you can try to negotiate. But when you have Democrats who are saying, we just don't like you, so even if you're saying something that we were advocating for a year ago, because you're saying it today, we're going to vote against that. That's not a good faith argument. That's just simply people who are working in bad faith. So there's no logical concession to give there, because it's not, they don't care about actually effectuating healthy policy. They just care about trying to score a win and making you suffer a loss. And when someone who's working with such selfish interests, not in the interests of Americans or America, but in the interests of just, politics for the sake of politics, that's someone who is a menace. And that you basically have to say to them, all right, if you want to basically be the purpose of being obstructionist, you're not offering a better alternative or a way to, reach a resolution here in a healthier way. So what the hell why are we even listening to you? And that's why they should just go to a simple majority. And if they don't do it, and if they don't pass the SAVE Act, especially if they don't pass the Save America Act, we deserve to get killed in the midterms.
100%. Also, on a totally separate and slightly separate, not totally separate.
That's okay.
The thing that they coined the American men's hockey team Republicans is so ridiculous. I'm a big Devils fan, so I know that Jack Hughes, who plays for the Devils, he was, when there was a whole hubbub about the NHL having Pride Night, he was like full on about it. We need to have it. This is important. He is quite a liberal individual. His mother is also, but both of them very clearly say, no, the President of the United States calls you. You say, you act graceful. That's the way it goes.
Right. And you know what? That's
I might not
fine.
agree with him. I might not vote for him. And that's fine. And you're allowed to have different opinions because this is America.
I can respect that. I can totally respect that. That he's not such a child that he's just like, all right, look, you tip your cap to the person who's sitting at the top of the pile. There's actually a Jewish phrase in that which goes Talaba idna sagidle, which means a fox in his day is good for him. Meaning even if it's a fox, which is considered a loathsome creature, when it's his birthday, so to speak, you just treat him with full added respect. When he's sitting there as he's king for the day, you treat him with a certain added respect. It's true.
Yeah.
So
That's the only point. Well, have a good night.
Take
Good to talk to you, and let's get some other people in here.
All right, have a good night, my friend. 972-454-0703 is the number to call if you want to get in here and have a quick chat with me. And I will tell you that I did have, as I told Liz, I had like 20 different links to share here. I know Paulie is outraged by Paulie's outraged by the level of acrimony I'm leveling at Democrats. This is what Democrats are. This is what Democrats. This is what they are.
And I'll just end with this. I would rather stick forks in my eyes than be here tonight to listen to Donald Trump talk about the State of the Union.
How insane are you?
But this is the people's house, and I will not abandon the people's house.
The way your compatriots did there. We got a call. Oh no, someone's calling. I'm coming. What's it not opening up? Oh, there it is.
Call from
Paulie D.
And I'll just end.
Paulie, are you there? What happened?
Call from
Miss Kemp.
What happened to Paulie D? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, your audio sounds terrible.
I'm so sorry about that. Do you want me to get a different set of headphones?
Yeah, like you sound as if you sound as if someone's literally smothering you with a pillow right now as we speak.
I would rather you not suggest that.
I wouldn't wish it on you. I'm just saying, like, that's how distant you sound.
Can you hear the sirens in the background?
Very, very faintly.
I hear them pretty loudly.
I'm sure you do, but your speaker sounds as if there's water in the speaker or something. Like, it's very hard to hear you.
Well, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. Do you want me to call back?
Do you have any way? I mean, I don't know if you can get back through, but
let's see.
I can try.
Maybe this one. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I don't mean to delay your audience.
No, that's okay. I'll stick with you. I'm patient.
I understand that you have nothing but time left. Okay, let's try this one. Oh.
Nope.
Is this any better?
Much better. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting because they're both Apple headphones. And I would have actually, had to limp myself over to the phone and, other technology plug in order to get the AirPods. But I don't really think that you have time for that.
I appreciate
so anyway,
it. I'll just tell you this. When you listen back later, you'll go to 318 or 317 when you first called in, and you'll hear the difference in the audio, and you'll be able to appreciate just how dramatic a difference it is. Which it is dramatic.
Okay.
So you'll check afterwards. You'll see.
Because I use Sennheiser microphones for audio otherwise.
Right.
But that's for different reasons, different purposes.
All right. So now let's go. I hope you have a great point because we invested a lot in getting to this point here.
I do actually have a question, but also a point to make.
Go for it.
So I'm sure that you listened to SO2 in 2017, also SO2 2018, also SO2
2019.
Absolutely.
And 2020.
Also too, one of my pet peeves actually is the redundant term also too. So also to 2020 and then also to 2026. What did you consider the differences and the main takeaways between 2020 SO2 and tonight's also too?
So 2020 State of the Union if you think back to what that was,
Mm-hmm.
it was right before COVID. COVID came in. It was in February of 2020.
It was right before the public knew about COVID.
It was right before, yeah, it was right before COVID became a thing. Lockdowns came in March of 2020, and
although COVID began during the world military
yes,
games,
and it actually hit. It was called COVID-19 because it hit Asia. I assume in 2019. So I assume that's why it was 19. Not that it was the 19 variant, but I'm not sure.
it hit Italy first.
I think it hit Wuhan first.
Well, as far as we know,
it spread
Italy
beyond
was
China. It spread beyond Asia into Italy first. But when
during the first Trump administration, yeah.
Yeah, but that's we're splitting hairs here. The point is that Americans.
We're not talking Covfefe.
Well, the point that I'm getting at is that Americans weren't really worried about COVID when he gave his 2020 State of the Union. It was not.
Americans were not informed since Georgetown, January 2017, about COVID risks that had already been established since 2002 that Trump knew about when he tweeted Covfefe.
When you say Cofife, that's what I always heard it as
Fefe. It's Fefe.
Okay.
Unless there are no accents
to
decipher, but yeah, if you want to call it Cofife,
it doesn't really
up
matter.
To you. Otherwise, it could be Cofifi if you want to pronounce one fee as a.
Are you trying to argue semantics with me here, or what are we looking for here?
No, we're talking about tonight's SOTU.
Okay.
And how that compares to the most recent SOTU by Trump.
Well, the most recent one was technically in 2020, but he gave a similar thing when he first came in last year, right? He referred to it as being almost like a State of the Union that he gave a year ago.
Oh, he wanted it to be because he missed giving his SOTU, after Biden won fair and square.
Right. Okay. So what are you asking me now?
So how is your comparative perspective to tonight's SOTU compared to any since 2017?
All right. Well, in 2020, what stuck out most from that was that he was listing off so many wins that Nancy Pelosi ripped up the speech when she was done. And
a copy of it, not the speech itself.
Now, again, you're trying to get into semantics. The point is
we're talking about facts.
I'm talking facts also.
Because she didn't break any laws.
She ripped up. I'm not. I think if she had taken his speech and ripped it up, that would not be breaking a law. That's not the point.
That would be actually. If
what law would that be?
Well, if she had taken, that would be against congressional purview to do such a thing.
So not a law, congressional purview thing.
Right. So a copy of it that she tore up, a lot of it is not just pomp and show. A lot of it is smoke and mirrors. And you know this.
Well, I think ripping up the speech there the way she did was pomp and show.
It wasn't the speech. It was a copy.
She ripped up the only speech she had access to. The only variant of the speech.
She had multiple copies of the speech.
Oh, well, maybe she was ripping up multiple copies because she spent a lot of time ripping.
I'm pretty sure that Trump has spent a lot of time ripping up our economy since he was a 5-time bankrupt person before becoming a purchaser of so many wives from foreign countries without citizenship. In my country where I was born.
What country was that?
America.
Oh, okay.
The United States of America.
To
be accurate.
So he purchased wives. These are pretty serious allegations. Do you have evidence that he purchased wives?
I have evidence that there is back and forth monies between Trump and
you either just defamed him. Or you're
no, I didn't.
Or you
this is not a defamation.
It's completely defamation. If you say that he purchased wives, you're saying that he committed a crime. When you say he committed a crime and purchased wives, that's defamatory unless it's true. So how do you know it's true?
People before marrying them. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, so you're the one who's arguing about semantics when I say she ripped up a speech, and now you're sitting here making baseless allegations that he purchased wives, and you're pretending, oh, sorry, whoops, that's a slip of the tongue.
No, it's not. Neither are, because he did purchase wives indirectly.
What does that mean?
Because he rented wives.
Where
Potential
do you have
wives.
evidence that he rented wives?
I have evidence that he has paid for women to do a lot of things, not just marry him.
What would that have to do with, assuming you had such evidence, which I assume you're probably referencing Stormy Daniels here, but what would that have to do
I'm
with
not,
anything?
Actually.
What would that have to do with Melania Trump?
Well, okay. How about tonight's So Too? I just go ahead.
So you're basically throwing out baseless allegations for the purpose of trying to dump on our president. And if I say something you disagree with, all of a sudden you start trying to catch me on semantics.
See, now my President Trump is also your President Trump, but I view my President Trump differently than you and yours view President Trump. Because I do not...
because you view him through a lens as to what did he do with his businesses years before he became president, which I don't understand that logic at all. So you're prejudging him that based on the fact that he had business dealings that you question. Well, why would you even bring that up in the context of his role as a president? We're talking about a State of the Union, which is a reflection as to what work he did as president of the United States. And the charges I've heard from you against him so far is about his quote unquote failed businesses and the wives that he allegedly purchased. What the hell would any of that, even if true, have to do with the role he's played as president?
A lot on an international stage, especially while dealing with Sharia law in the Middle East that I don't ascribe to.
What the hell would that have to do with Sharia law? What does that even mean?
A lot. We're dealing with Iran. He didn't even mention that
All right.
tonight.
Okay, I have no idea. Now you're over in Iran. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
No, I'm not in Iran. I'm in America.
Okay. Now you're over here discussing Iran, and I have no idea what the hell that has to do when we're just discussing his role in the economy. You made allegations about his work with the economy, and your evidence to that, your quote unquote evidence to that, had to do with his failed businesses and purchasing wives. So why don't you try and justify that claim that there's any sort of connection whatsoever to the role he played with our economy to Trump University going bankrupt 15 years ago?
How? Oh, Trump University. Now
I'm just talking about any. I'm just throwing out any. I picked a random.
It didn't go bankrupt. It was corrupt.
I picked a random business, which I hear frequently was a failure. So you tell me, you pick any one of his quote unquote failed businesses.
It wasn't a business. It was
Tell me. You can say that. What I'm saying is, maybe it was. What would any of this have to do with the policies he's implemented, like the favored nation status? What would any of that have to do with $18 trillion in investments that he brought from on an international level compared to $1 trillion brought in by Biden over a period of 4 years?
During COVID. You're talking about during COVID.
No, not during COVID. I'm not talking about during COVID. I'm talking about $18 trillion during the past year.
COVID to straighten out Trump's covfefe mishaps.
You want to call it Trump's covfefe, which I don't know why you're calling it covfefe rather than just calling it COVID. But
because it was something Trump preeminently was informed about since January 2017.
And he
May
did not
2017.
So
he said it's for the people who know.
Why so I'm baffled.
So why should the American public not have known about risks of coronaviruses by then? When it was already known.
Oh, there's a lot of reasons to withhold at that
through
time.
Higher elite levels, yeah, obviously.
No, there's a lot of reasons so as not to spread panic. That would make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't, because
it actually does.
There was so much time to prepare for that, but Trump.
What does that mean? Time to prepare for what? For a disease that you know nothing about? If I tell you this disease,
there was so much known about it since 2002. How dare you?
Oh, really? So much known about it in 2002 that they were dropping like flies in Italy. If there was so much known about it, why did so many Europeans die before any Americans die? Oh, everyone knew about it.
Oh, why did the people at the Wuhan lab?
This is retarded,
yeah.
dude.
No, it's not retarded.
Dude, no, it is. We're talking
word.
about the State of the Union as to what's been going on for the past 12 months, and you're trying to bring some sort of allegations about what happened in February of 2020. You're talking about what happened in
2017.
February 2020.
This
Think of how
is the
twisted your
fourth-
brain is.
So true.
How
No, it's not
twisted is
twisted.
your brain that you're sitting
Look.
here? We're talking about his State of the Union, which is a reflection of the role he's done in it as President 47, and you're sitting here trying to hurl insults at him as to his allegedly failed businesses from 20 years ago, some disease from 2002, and his bought wives. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. All I know is that you seem so
care.
deeply infused with Trump derangement syndrome
No.
that no matter
No,
what
no,
it is
no.
that he does, no matter
You're
what
absolutely wrong.
what accomplishes, I want to hear one compliment from you about what he's done last year.
So
Gotcha.
let me make it a good one.
Gotcha.
No,
Okay.
let me
Have a good
no,
night, brother.
I'm making a good one. Fuck you.
Dude's had accomplishment after accomplishment. You can't come up with one accomplishment. Can't come up with one. Can't come up with one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I actually waited for that clown to find headphones that didn't make him sound like he was being smothered. Maybe someone was smothering him. I don't know. I'm not.
Call from
Joe Sound Guy.
To accept, press.
Are you going to be some other crazy TDS person calling me now, Joe Sound Guy?
Oh, wow. I mean, geez. Wow, bro. I'll say I really think, yeah, okay. Here's a criticism. I got a Trump criticism.
Oh, okay.
I think he oversold his solution for the Ukraine conflict. And I wish he hadn't have done that.
I don't think, did he enumerate that?
Well, he did before he was, when he was running. When he got elected, he would settle it in a day.
That is what he said.
Right away, as soon as, and he didn't, and I think, I wish he hadn't have done that because I think it disrespected the complexity of the problem.
Right.
Okay. There we go. Oh, and fuck you or something, right? So fuck you, Joe.
How you doing, brother?
If I was much better, they'd be killing me. It's good to talk to you. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
No, that's all
I'm
right.
sorry for the audience.
No, that's all right. I think it's like I actually kind of miss having that type of like debates. That was like in litigation. Every once in a while, I get an adversary like that.
But it's not fair. It's like punching a blind kid.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is when I get into the groove, I'm like, no, this is fun. If not for the fact that I felt like my audience was getting like tired of hearing him, I literally could have punched at him for another half hour.
Oh gosh, yeah, and I would have walked away too. It's like,
it's just like you get tired of it, and everyone. As soon as I see people saying "stop giving this troll so much time," I'm like, all right, it's time for me to start landing my plane here on this guy, and that's what happened.
You should have landed right on him.
But when he couldn't come up with one accomplishment that he had, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, there's at least one. I think there's one. I don't know. Gas is down for me.
I don't know. Like
maybe
getting. I don't know. Maybe getting people released from Russia. I don't know. Maybe that's something. No.
Maybe that's a good thing. I think Venezuela not being run by Maduro is a good thing.
You would think so.
15 minutes or whatever.
You would think so. I'm not getting rid of 11,000 murderers. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, but were they Republicans or Democrats?
Yes,
that's what's important here.
And also, what about those bought wives? I never heard that claim before.
Well, I still pay for my ex-wife. Does that count? I pay you. It's go away money. Here's one. Here I got a criticism for tonight's State of the Union, like legit, and I didn't hear anything I didn't expect.
Okay.
You
didn't expect them to reel out a couple 100-year-old guys, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I kind of joked with a friend about it. I said, "Yeah, America's great. Biden sucked. Trump fixed it. Isn't America great?"
I'll tell you this.
You get a medal. You get a medal. You get a medal.
And
it was like scripted. And then it's like the people who got the war veteran who got the Medal of Honor, deserving. The hockey team being invited, great, patriotic. I'm so glad we don't have this bullshit with the Olympics anymore. Hooray! I won. I represented America. I won. Here's my flag. Yay!
I will tell you. I almost pulled up like a Trump bingo card for the State of the Union, and I'm bringing it up on screen now. I don't know if you're able to open it up without. And I guess mute your thing here on this Trump bingo card that they had here. So they have 8 wars that he hit on. Melania Trump. I didn't hear him mention RFK. I don't remember even Canada. He definitely mentioned Trump RX. He definitely mentioned the economy. That's like, pretty much a given. He mentioned Melania. He mentioned the border. He mentioned 2028 and Joe Biden. I don't remember him mentioning Greenland. I'm trying to make America great again. Venezuela.
Right. That's a good point. He didn't mention Greenland.
He didn't mention Greenland, right?
And that's not like him.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's actual row here that got filled in, and I don't know that there is, because make America great again, yeah, but he mentioned Venezuela. He didn't mention a third term.
Didn't mention Panama.
Didn't mention Panama. Didn't mention Vladimir Putin. Didn't mention Chuck Schumer. He did talk about midterms. He didn't talk about impeachment.
Got Pelosi in there.
He did get Pelosi in there. That was funny.
I thought that was good shit.
That was great. He did bring in Minnesota. So, and he mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know if there was a row here in bingo that he actually hit.
I was kind of half expecting him to tell us that, we'd just taken down, the leaders of Iran.
I'm sorry, what was that? You faded on me for a second. What did you say?
I kind of half expected him to tell us that he'd taken down the Ayatollah.
Yeah, that would have been. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't. I think that his whole thing is he wants to show them. He mentioned peace through strength. He wants to show them the military is on their doorstep and use that to basically bluff them into capitulating. I don't think he's going to end up sending in troops. I don't think at worst we'll send drones in there. I don't think that there's going to be anything more than that. And the idea is to basically make them crap their pants until they bend over and capitulate. I think that's what he's hoping for. He cannot say that though, because if he does, then that'll never work. So he has to basically make it look as if we're going to war.
Assuming they're as smart as you or me, and that there's some very smart people over there who've been playing this game for a very long time.
Right.
We've got to presume that maybe they can find a way to wait him out.
Maybe that's true, but he managed to work. That's true, and of course you can you're basically saying how many times can he wave that same wand and have it turn to gold again? That's essentially what you're asking before people are like, I don't think you really want a war. So that he might, and they might call his bluff. Yeah, but then he can hit them with drones without sending people in and really and bury them. Like he has at his disposal. I think that what he did with Maduro is very intimidating to any world leader who's opposing him. Like that, he was able to do that without a single American casualty, and to just basically swoop him up and take someone and bring him back to America. That has to be terrifying to Khamenei, to any of these world leaders.
I'll tell you why I think you're overplaying that point. I mean, first of all, I appreciate what you're saying. I think you're right. Absolutely, yes, it's true. What happened in Venezuela was freaking awesome and a great demonstration of our authority. But as it portrays to Iran, it's a different international dynamic with China and Russia right there. It's not part of our hemisphere. And if you pull that leadership out of there, anything else but the Ayatollah, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that what you get is better.
100%.
So how do you
100%?
make
In fact,
better? What's the point of doing it?
I'll go one step further. Invariably, every time we've meddled in the Middle East, and in particular in Iran, which going back to like the 1940s, we've done this a couple of times now. It has gotten worse every time. Every time.
Maybe we should put the Ottomans back in charge. They did a pretty good job. So
seriously.
Ask your dad. Was it 1,000 years, the Ottoman Empire? How long was the Ottoman Empire? It was a long time.
My dad would know that off top of it. He'd be like 841 years.
You're right, which is crazy. But so that's the trouble here is on the one hand, I would love to see Iran become the Iran of the 40s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I don't see a path to get there without boots on the ground. And why do I say boots on the ground? Well, we had boots on the ground in Afghanistan for 20 years, and we couldn't muster up the decision to say, no, I know you don't have a history or a culture of democracy or freedom, and we're going to put one here if it takes us a century.
See, it's insanity. It's insanity. Here's the thing: some cultures are simply not built to have democracy as part of their republic the way that we have it. Some cultures work best with a good and kindly king. It's really that simple. I mean, it's something that it's such a foreign thing. It's such a foreign concept to us. It's a really foreign concept to us. But the best leaders historically, if you look back at it, have been kings who have actually looked about bettering their countries and being remembered that way. That's what. So
you're looking at maybe England, maybe France, Germany,
Peter the Great, and Russia. I don't know.
It was good. The centuries, the czars. Really.
That's what I'm saying. There are individuals like that. Sadly, they tend to pass their legacy on to some spoiled kid who's a monster, and they grow up to basically terrorize the country. But yeah, I say historically, it's been a lot more efficient to fix a country that way than through democratic processes.
I can't think. I have one exception to that, and that's Japan.
Okay. I don't know enough about Japanese warlords to weigh in on that.
Well, long story short, they were an empire until the end of World War II.
Right.
And then there was samurai, and then there was the Meiji, and then there was World War II. Right. Blah 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 blah. And after that, we imposed a representative republic upon them, and it took. Not so in Germany. In Germany, it was different. In Germany, you had a representative republic that went rogue.
Someone here is mentioning how Norway is doing all right. I'm going to point this out.
Yeah.
I want to point this out about European countries in general. European countries are able to function the way they have because they don't have to pay for their own national defense. Which, if you can imagine if we didn't have to pay for our own national defense, someone else was just going to cover that for us. Imagine how much we would be flourishing as a country if we didn't have to be spending $1 trillion a year to defend ourselves and countless nations across the earth. It's really not like I think that these Scandinavian countries, that people look to them with envy. It's like it's akin to on a micro level. It's akin to a kid who goes out and makes a living and is living off of his parents. So now he's living at home and he's basically bringing in, let's say, 40 grand a year. So you look at him like, wow, he's so wealthy because he's been doing this for a few years. He doesn't have any real expenses. He spends a little bit on his entertainment, and he's amassing even though he doesn't have an income that anyone would consider enviable. Most people would not consider that an enviable income. I'm not talking. I didn't say he's making 150 a year, but he's making relatively little money. But since his expenses are so freaking low, it's like you just look at him as like, wow, he's such a success. He's so wealthy. And it's like, yeah, the dude's not paying for any of his expenses and just bringing in income. So of course he is. Of course he's doing well. And I feel like that when I look at these Scandinavian countries, it's like, yeah, if you're living rent free, okay, that's convenient. And rent free is not having to pay for your own security. So,
Joe, I could talk to you all night. That wouldn't be fair to the audience. But let me just hit you with, okay, where are we going over the next 12 months?
Over the next 12 months. What are your thoughts?
What's happening nationally? What's happening internationally? In the next 12 months, I think Iran is not going to be the Iran we see today. I think nationalism across the globe is going to continue to grow and prosper. Looking at Japan and what they're doing in particular, with their national pride being restored.
Right.
Not tolerating Muslim prayers in the streets. This whole idea, in the Japanese psyche, it's different. We're Japanese and we love being Japanese. We're proud to be Japanese. And what the hell are you people doing? You're in Japan. Respect us being Japanese or GTFO, right? There's no second thought about that in that culture.
Right.
And I see that kind of, Trump seems to have given license to this. And I'd like to see more nationalism, because there's nothing wrong with, what was the joke out of Tropic Thunder? You're Australian, be Australian. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not, disparaging anybody else.
Right.
The French should be French. Let the French be French. Long live the French. Vive the French. And so on. And I don't think the Iranian culture, historically, the Persians are this Islamic nationalist, crazy town people.
Yeah.
I don't know. What am I seeing the next 12 months?
I think the Persians are. I think the Persians are under the thumb over there. So.
Agreed. What do you see in the next 12 months? What do you see domestically?
Domestically,
you got midterms coming.
Yeah, I'm very worried about these midterms. Because I'm not seeing that change coming from the GOP Senate, and I think that if there's no change in the GOP Senate, I think that we're potentially looking at a political bloodbath in the elections. I'm very nervous about it. I'm very, very nervous about it. And then I say to myself, the same way Mamdani is asking, the New Yorkers are asking upon themselves to be visited by the likes of Mamdani by voting for someone like that. I think that the GOP Senate is self-destructing, and that, Trump is likely to be fighting against them and yelling at them. That's what I'm expecting to see him yelling at the Senate and Thune and McConnell a lot over the next year. And hopefully the pressure makes him cave ultimately. Hopefully that's what we need to. You need to be calling your local senator and tell them, heck, don't call your local senator. Call John Thune. Call Mitch McConnell. Harass him. Tell him, hey, I'm in Kentucky and you suck, and and you're making me basically vote blue because you're so terrible. Bring the freaking Save America Act now. That's where everything starts. That's where everything starts.
Yeah, Save America Act really needs to pass.
It's ridiculous if it can't. Look at something that's got such national support amongst Republicans and Democrats alike. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, Trump has had losses before.
Yep.
How will he? And we learn as much. Most of us fail more than we succeed, and it's how you manage the failures, right?
Yep.
That's the dirty little secret.
This is true.
How will Trump manage which failures? That'll be interesting to see. Because, like Ukraine, he managed to get by on that really well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there are not people throwing eggs at him about saying, you said you'd solve it in 24 hours. It's been a year.
Yeah.
That's a real argument.
Yeah, that's true. It has been.
Nobody's making it.
Because everyone's all his detractors are so fixated on Epstein. They're all fixated on Epstein.
Because their names are in there.
Yeah.
Trump was mentioned 152 times. Whatever. Trump came for lunch.
Yeah.
Really? So what did they say about him? He was mentioned 152 times. How? What did they say? He was mentioned.
Yeah, he was mentioned as in like effing Trump is screwing up my life. That's basically how he was mentioned. Thousands of times.
I should get off the phone. It was great catching up with you a little bit, Joe.
Always a pleasure, my brother. Have a good night.
Be well.
I think it's time for me to start landing my plane. I think we've hit that time. We've hit that time. I'm starting to feel a little tired, so maybe I should be landing the plane. But I hope you enjoyed tonight's State of the Union and watching it with me. And next year, God willing, we'll be doing it again together. And I guess we're left with this. Lab meat was never meant for you. It was meant for they, them. So you don't want to be touching it. It's not for you. Don't even think about it. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over in my diggers. I brought them up so many times tonight, and I didn't even check my digger chat. So let me just make sure I didn't miss anything over there. I did. J.H. Schwalbeck, who's he's awesome. I'm gonna give you the horn just because J.H. is awesome. Joe. I just added to my will that my children must watch Good Logic for at least 5 years after my death, so they can never hear my super chats that I post on Locals. I will live forever. Thank you, Joe. JH, you are awesome. I miss so many of his tips that he sends me, and I feel like a dog for it. So I am sorry, my brother. I'm so glad I managed to check that one tonight. I'm so glad about that. All right. I think that's it. Oh, Trump natives say we'll never come together unless we give them everything they want and shut up. This is true. I don't know how I missed this. And voted for it means consider minority suffering. That's why I moved. I want to cover it already. All right. All that's left is do not eat the bugs. I will see you, God willing, at 10 p.m. tomorrow. Till then, have a good night. And as always, Godspeed.